Review codes provided by the developers. I'm Jared.
I'm Marcus.
Level with us. Hello and welcome to the Cozy Video Game Show, where we have a discussion every week that is also cozy. This week, Marcus and I will be covering two games, Soccer Story and Lil Gator Game. And what's unique about this is that both of these games take heavy inspiration from games that we both quite love, namely A Short Hike and Golf Story, respectively. But what we're going to be doing a little differently this time is that we each decided to take one game to play and then report back to each other on. So it'll be a little more book club-like this week.
That's right. Which, by the way, I'm happy to be back, even though your discussion with Cozy Louise was indeed cozy.
Oh, you listened to it?
Yeah, of course I did. I feel like it really lived up to the word cozy, which we use every week. But like that game specifically, I haven't played it, but now I kind of want to. It looked delightful.
Yeah?
Yeah. But speaking of delightful, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, sure.
Say what you're going to say.
Yeah, excuse me, Marcus. Speaking of delightful.
But speaking of delightful.
Let's start with the game that you took this week, which was
Lil Gator Game. Lil Gator Game. LIL' Gator Game.
Yes, that one.
So I really feel like this game, if you like the title, if it sounds cute to you, you'll enjoy the game. Because it really does capture just the feel of, it's just a cute, small game. Mm-hmm. But I guess in summary, you got to play this game, right, Jared?
I got to play it a little bit, uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah, so in this game, you play as a little gator. And you're basically playing pretend on an open world island, trying to convince your big sister to join you in playtime. So you're going around fighting monsters, which are actually just cardboard cutouts, and then they break into pieces and you collect confetti, and you get a long pointy hat, you have a sword, you have a shield, but it's really just an exploration game. The sword and the shield are mostly there for other reasons. The shield is like shield surfing in Zelda. That's all you can do with it, which is very fun. So while you said that this game is inspired by or takes notes from A Short Hike,
yes,
it also very much feels like a love letter to Breath of the Wild and to Zelda games generally.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I mean, it's not just inspired by A Short Hike. But when you look at it on the onset, I mean, little island, color palettes a little similar. They clearly love A Short Hike like we do,
right?
Which is awesome. But yeah, interesting to me that most cozy games don't have combat. That's actually usually a hallmark of cozy games, is they do a different spin on combat, or you don't kill things quite as frequently. Some cozy games you can. So I like that this game's approach to combat is it just break all the cardboard pieces all over the world. And it's like you pretend you're fighting monsters. But it's oddly satisfying, too, from what I played.
Oh, yeah.
To break every single thing in sight.
Right, for sure. So kind of one of the central appeals of the game is everyone is in on the joke. In some, or not the joke, but everyone on this island is playing pretend. So some of them have fetch quests that feel very traditional, and some of them like just totally butcher it, and it's like silly, or like one guy is like, fetch my pencil, throws it on the ground in front of them, pick it up, give it to them. They're like, wait, oh no, here it goes again, fetch my pencil. They toss it on a cliff. And then after the third time, of course, your character's like, no, stop it. They're like, oh, I feel like I'm going to throw it really far this time. Oh no. And they're like, please, no. So there's a mix of like, oh, this is almost like a traditional adventure game. And a lot of times it's like, nah, it's just being silly again.
That's really funny. I didn't really think of it as like a meta self-aware game, but that seems to be the case for most of it, right? Like you said, all the characters are kind of aware of what video games are. So they kind of make up their own quests as if they're trying to copy a video game, but they are a video game. That's interesting.
Yeah, and one of the reasons I say it's a Breath of the Wild specific kind of love letter is because, like I said, you have a shield, which is for shield surfing, which is so fun. But then also you get a paraglider, which is really just a t-shirt so you can glide places, but it has like the exact same coloration and a similar design to the paraglider from Breath of the Wild.
Right.
And of course you have the pointy hat, and they talk about the little green hero. They never say Zelda, but it's pretty clear. It's pretty overt with its references. But yeah, so like pretty much everything we like about A Short Hike is in here. It's an open world exploring game. There's some really cute, fun dialogue, and you do progress. You do get more abilities as you do more things.
Like what?
Well, you get a stone that you can skip stones. You can do blow a bubblegum bubble that lets you float into the air a little bit. It really does feel like the developers for this game prioritized fun over all else.
That's great.
Just they when given an option, they picked the fun option. So it's really just it's a delightful time.
That's great. Well, that's what I look for in my cozy open world experiences. So I am very excited to dive more into this one based on what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Which brings me to my star piece for the game. There is a ragdoll button, and this should go into every game ever, always. I don't care what your game is, if you have a character in a 3D world. So basically, you press the button, and then, how Link in Breath of the Wild will collapse like a rag doll and tumble down a cliff. You can just do that. You can just jump up in the air and then lose all bone structure and then just tumble down a hill. And so it's fun because you're basically traversing the world by running, hopping onto a pot lid, and then flopping into the water in front of you. So I'm just flopping across the island, which again, it's just prioritizing fun. They knew it was funny, and they did it, and it is.
It almost makes it like a physics-based game, like Human Fall Flat, Just
Sure.
like the humor of those games where you have these gangly bodies trying to drag stuff around and fall. The way that the gator walks and crumples when you do that certainly evokes that, which is awesome. Very funny.
For sure. I don't really have much of a quick jab.
And jab.
But yeah, I mean, there are several differences between this and A Short Hike. One of them is the camera angle is not locked on this. It's a free angle camera.
Yeah.
So while I feel like this game could be played by small children, I know that for people who are new to video games, it can sometimes be a little difficult when you're controlling the camera. Mm-hmm. That's obviously most video games do that, but that's something different from A Short Hike. That game, you actually have kind of a locked camera angle, which also I think helps a little bit with getting lost, because whenever you're in a place, it's always going to be the same orientation that you're seeing the place.
Right. Well, you know what? If we went back to our A Short Hike episode, I think your quick jab for it was you wish there was a free camera.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, I can't be pleased. What have we learned today?
It doesn't matter what you do, Marcus will find something to be displeased about.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a good point. No, that's great that you're thinking about children, because this is a very childlike game, and I think kids would like it too because of how simple it is, and I'd say it's pretty forgiving too. Because there's no fall damage, right? There's no damage. There's really no fail state, right? I don't think you can lose the game, quote unquote. Right. You can just run around and enjoy it. So yeah, you're right. Maybe it would be nice if there was a camera follows you option or something like that.
But yeah, I mean, I'd recommend it to anyone who thinks Lil Gator Game sounds cute. You'll probably find the game cute. This week I watched an episode of Bluey, a children's show.
For just by yourself, without any children around, you just pulled it up and watched it?
No, I watched it with other people, and they do watch it by themselves.
Oh, okay.
They say it's good for mental health because it's just so nice. This game reminds me of that in that it's not like this game is just for kids, but it definitely has kid appeal, and then it also has some jokes that are a little more focused to people who understand culture references and stuff like that. So it's a good time. I think the thing just to consider with it is consider the type of game it's trying to be, rather than, it's not Zelda. You don't actually fight things. It's just it's just a silly game that's sort of referencing Zelda.
Gotcha. Well, before we move on from this game, I do have a little fake fan question for you.
From my game, from the game
for
I
your
played.
game.
All
yes.
right. Cool.
Well,
Cool.
loosely from your game. Fake fan. So this is not Lil Croc game. This is Lil Gator game. So I want you to help me understand the differences between alligators and crocodiles.
Boo.
So I have 3 simple questions. You have a 50% chance of getting each one right.
Okay.
But before I do, what do you know about the differences between alligators and crocodiles?
I feel like it's something that I knew at some point, and now I do not. Some people use them interchangeably, but they also might be 2 different species. I don't know.
It's later alligator and after a while crocodile, not the other way around.
Exactly. You know? It's not later crocodile. That's stupid. It
has been a while since we watched our children's cartoons that teach us about all the animals.
Yeah.
There's so many of them.
Yeah.
Growing up.
I will just as a side note, Jared, when I went to a zoo that had seals, or it was an aquarium that had seals, I was just struck by the strangeness of seals, which thing I had never before really thought about. It's like, holy cow, these sausage creatures have fins instead of legs. It's so weird. Anyway, sorry, but tell me more. What's your question?
Yes. So 3 differences between alligators and crocodiles. Okay. One of them are a dark blackish color, while one of them are a lighter olive green color. Or brown. So tell me which one is darker blackish and which one is lighter green.
I'm going to guess that alligators are usually lighter.
That is incorrect. Alligators are the darker ones, actually.
All right.
But that's okay. You still have 2 more chances. Question number 2.
I hope I get all 3 wrong.
Between alligators and crocodiles, one has a wider kind of U-shaped snout, and one of them has a very pointy V-shaped snout.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure how much the Lil Gator in the game will help with these questions, but...
Not at all. Okay, which one has the pointier snout?
Yes.
I'm gonna say that crocodiles have pointier snouts.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Good job. Okay, last one clinches it. Otherwise, Marcus, you're a fake fan.
Boy.
No matter what you say. Because you need to know alligator facts to enjoy a game about a gator.
It's so true.
So between gators and crocodiles, one of them has an overbite, so that you can kind of just see the top teeth. And one of them is a little different, where the teeth, you can see their bottom teeth sticking out, as well as their top teeth. So you kind of see everything. But yeah, one of them has more of an overbite and you don't see the bottom teeth. Does that make sense? I might have over-explained that.
Well, there's a false premise within the context of this question, because with proper orthodontic and dental help, any gator and or crocodile can have healthy oral teeth.
Oh.
I'm trying. I can't be a fake fan. I'm going to say that alligators don't have the overbite.
I'm afraid that's incorrect.
Oh, okay.
Alligators have the overbite, so you cannot see their bottom teeth. But crocodiles are just very toothy. You see teeth sticking out all over the place, up and down, when their mouth is closed. So I am afraid you've lost Fake Fan this week, but there's always next time.
Hey, it was a decent series of questions.
You fought valiantly, and by that I mean you guessed every time and did your best.
You didn't give up, no sir. But enough about me.
Shall we move on to my game?
Absolutely. I'm actually really interested to hear about it, because I know that you really enjoyed the other one.
Golf Story?
Golf Story.
Yeah, so Golf Story is an exclusive on the Nintendo Switch, and you haven't played it, right?
I have played like the first chapter of it.
Okay, cool. So you know what it's about. Mm-hmm. So I guess I have to preface this entire discussion by saying I really don't like sports games. Like, they're just not that fun. Even the Mario sports games, like, I like some of them, but not, I'll play it once and then kind of be done with it, if that makes sense. Like, they don't hold any appeal for me. And on the other flip side of it, I really don't like RPGs. I've already expressed that on the show before. Turn-based combat's not fun to me. Lots of stats and numbers is not fun to me. I will take an action-adventure game over an RPG any day. So don't like sports games, don't like RPGs, but Marcus, I love sports RPGs. I love them.
You got your sports in my RPG. You got your RPG in my sports.
And
they
Jared
taste
was
them
happy.
together.
Yes.
And it's delicious.
It's so fun. It's like the best of both worlds. It's like sports are kind of boring to me, but like the video gaminess like enlivens it a bit.
For sure.
And then like RPGs, they have like, to me, really, really boring combat systems, but then like swap that out for sports and then it just adds a really fun, like all the progression of RPGs and the story and stuff like that. Like, but for sports, just makes it way more fun. So you get like the best of both of these things. And then also it's just really silly.
Right.
I love, it's like an anime, you know, where it's like everyone in the world cares about this one sport so badly.
It's like Layton, where everyone says a puzzle, that kind of thing.
Yeah, just like that. And I love sports anime, but I also love making fun of it. So I kind of get that kick here as well.
Sure.
So I loved what Golf Story did. It's very silly. Leveling up feels great, getting currency to buy nicer clubs. The world is fun to run around. I love that you can put a ball down anywhere in the world and hit stuff with it. And that just becomes your primary way of interacting with the world. It's kind of like Mario's hat throw in Odyssey. It's just how you interact with anything.
Sure.
So really fun game. I can't recommend it enough. And the other big thing about it is that Sports Story looks to be even more gargantuan, just with so much to do, so many different sports to play. That comes out this month, apparently. Very excited for that.
Ooh.
Don't know when, but super excited. But in the meantime, we have Soccer Story, which was not made by the same people, but it takes a lot of inspiration. And when I say that, I mean a lot, right down to like the UI elements. They clearly loved Golf Story and they wanted to make a soccer or football version of it. So we'll start with the good stuff because I really, really enjoyed playing this game. The visuals are gorgeous. It's kind of a voxel pixel art style, but like
what does
3D.
Voxel mean?
So voxel is like pixels, but in 3D.
Oh, cool.
It's like blocky.
Okay.
So it's like kind of a blocky world, but you're like pixel characters running around it.
Sure.
It looks great. Zero complaints about the visuals and graphics. I think it looks fantastic. I also love that in this game... So the story for this game, you are a person who wakes up in a world where soccer is banned. Like, it is illegal.
No.
Yes. It is illegal to play soccer because of an event that happened years ago, but it's like unclear what happened. And there's a mega corporation who has a monopoly and enforces no soccer.
This is great.
Unless it's like approved by the state or whatever. And so it's delightfully ludicrous, and I love that. And I kind of wish they took advantage of that ridiculous premise more, but this isn't quick jobs right now. It's a very funny premise. And you wake up and you meet a magical soccer ball. It doesn't talk to you or anything, but you gain a magic soccer ball, and just kind of like in Golf Story, you can put this soccer ball down anywhere in the world and kick it into things. There's tons and tons of side quests. Everywhere you go, you're going to meet someone saying, hey, hit all the targets in this area. Or another person who says, hey, find my fishing rod. There's soccer golf. There's soccer fishing. There's get all the crabs in the beach by slide tackling them. You know, things like that. Just using the elements of soccer and then putting them in other contexts. That's fantastic. Sure. I want more people to make sports RPGs like this because it's a formula that really, really works.
Mm-hmm. Real quick question. What percentage of the game is you playing games of soccer?
Yeah, so the way the world is broken up is it's one big interconnected world. The map is there's no loading screens, which is great. I love that. In fact, that's something I think that this really contributes to the genre. I think Golf Story could have benefited from this, where it kind of feels like an interconnected Zelda world almost.
More open.
Where you can, run wherever you want. The map is then kind of broken up into different biomes. And so you'll start in the tutorial area, and you have to do a certain number of side quests, and then you can do a soccer game. And then you'll do like one or two soccer games, and once you win the tournament, you'll get a key or something that lets you go to the next area. And then you kind of rinse and repeat, which works. I kind of no complaints. Gonna save that for later.
Yeah, gosh.
The big interconnected world is great, and exploring is very, very fun. Like I said, I almost wish it was like an open sandbox because it would be really fun to just explore the world. And I loved doing objectives like as I go from one place to another, where I'd like stop and do a quick mini game and then keep going, and really great.
Well, the difficulty scales, right? So like maybe that's one of the reasons you're cordoned off.
Well, yeah, I mean they're meant to be. Yeah, things get more difficult as you progress, but yeah, it's like each area culminates in a soccer game. Let's do a quick star piece for this. My star piece, besides what I've already gushed about in terms of like the visuals and exploration, there's a lot of like secrets, which is also great. Like if you are checking every trash can, you are bound to find something really nice. Because
I mean, that's real life too. Like,
yes.
I don't know if you've done a lot of dumpster diving, but you're guaranteed to find something good eventually.
Lessons learned from video games. Yeah, and then you can also, the camera is fixed. You can see plenty, but that means if you kind of dart behind trees and stuff, you might occasionally find a secret little passageway or some coins that are hidden behind something. So that's pretty great as well. It just encourages you to explore, and I think that's great. But now we do my quick jabs.
And jab.
Because the thing is, I liked this game more than probably most of the games we've covered on the show, which is saying a lot because we played some pretty fantastic games throughout the history of Level with us. But I had so much fun playing this game. And with that being said, I have more quick jabs and complaints about this game than any other game we've talked about. And I think it's because I love it so much. Yeah, I guess so. And the point of quick jabs is so that we limit ourselves. But I have to talk about this, Marcus. I have to tell you all the things. And I told you a couple of them before we started the show. So some of them you'll be aware of. But you ready?
Rapid fire.
Okay, so the biggest one, and I understand we had a pre-release code. There was a lot of bugs. There's a lot of times where I got locked. I just could not do anything. I had to restart the game multiple times. So hopefully the day one patch, resolved some of that. But that made it kind of hard to enjoy the game. There's also some really arbitrary locking off of things. Besides just like the main areas that you're not allowed to access, you'll constantly get upgrades for things, and you're not allowed to use those upgrades until you meet a character who says, hey, you can use those upgrades for this thing. And you're like, oh, great, thanks.
Interesting.
It's like, I love leveling up my team and giving them different stats. I'm like, okay, I'm going to make this one. I'm going to use all my speed medallions that I earned on this one. This will be my fastest character. But like, you'd get tons of upgrades, especially early in the game, that you just straight up are not allowed to use. And I think that's really dumb. Seemed really arbitrary. This one might hit a little close to home for you. There's no music except for like one track. In this entire game. Like, every area you go to has this same overworld music.
That could possibly be a bug.
I don't think
like
so.
If it doesn't, you don't think so?
The thing is, I looked up another review and they were complaining about the exact same thing.
Okay.
But I was aware of it before I looked up the review. I was like, it's very good music. It's like kind of an Animal Crossing cozy, relaxing song. But yeah, it plays everywhere. And they might swap out like the ambience, so it feels a little different, but it's the same track. I don't know how I feel about that. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe like some of the mini games have a track, but you're basically hearing the same track for 90% of your gameplay.
Gotcha.
The writing in this game is really, really bad. It's like no one has a specific personality. In fact, they have a name card, and I still would like not even realize who's talking when it's just my main character talking to an NPC. Like, there's nothing that like indicates any kind of personality at all.
Sure.
It's also really funny because like the world has like these animal characters. Your goalie is a panda, and that's very funny. But like, panda doesn't have any personality at all. They talk just like any other normal person. It doesn't really show up in the dialogue. Also, it's unintentionally hilarious sometimes. Like, you'll talk to the boss of this soccer field, and he'll be like, "You're a failure, you lost the tournament." And you say, "Okay!" Exclamation point. He's like, "Come back to me when you want to do the tournament again." and that's it. That's the exchange. Anyway, sometimes you'll like reiterate what the person just said to you. I don't know. Golf Story, I don't want to compare this to Golf Story every time, but they really set a high bar. All the dialogue boxes animate and like do weird little things to kind of show the character's personality without having to rely on this limited pixel art. And I'm not saying they needed to do that in this game, but like the humor just does not land, especially with such a cool, funny, ridiculous premise for the story, right? Mm-hmm. And then, you know, I'll wrap it up here. My final thing is the soccer matches themselves are actually not that fun, which that is a big letdown for a game about soccer. Is I dreaded the soccer matches. I love doing everything else. Like I said, I enjoyed playing this game. I was so excited to dive in every single time. But as soon as there was a game, I was not having fun. Even the very first match, which should be easy because you're facing toddlers in this for the first match. I died like 6 times. I lost the match. No, I died inside.
Oh, yikes. Those toddlers get really feisty. Yes. A lot of slide tackles.
It felt like my skill had no difference. The goalies, they say, oh, just make enough shots, and you see a goalie stamina meter. And they're like, when it's lower, the goalie will like be slower. They won't catch all your goals. But it doesn't make any difference at all. Like, I will get the ball at the whistle and kick it in and get it right then. And then other times I will kick it in 20 times and never make it in. And I'll try lining up my shot differently. I'll try from a different distance. I've played around. It seems completely up to chance. Yes, that's the word I keep using, arbitrary. It seems almost randomized whether you're going to make a goal. And that just makes it not fun. And so, again, when your game's about soccer, you better make sure that the soccer matches feel good. And I'm leveling up all my stats. I want to explore more of the world, but it's kind of held back by these lackluster sports matches. So, all that being said, I really liked Soccer Story. It was so fun, but it's really lacking in a lot of areas. So
we expect the most from those we love.
Yes, I suppose so. This game is on Game Pass, so if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, I want to try it, but I don't want to buy it, well, it's you can play it on Game Pass for free, which is great. I think that's the best way to play it. But yeah, it's on Steam, it's on Switch. If you like Golf Story and you want to, you know, fill that hole in your heart from the lack of other sports RPGs, this might do it for you. But there's another really, really good one on the way called Sports Story, which we might cover on the show. We'll have to see. But yeah. Yes, yeah. I am done talking. I didn't give you a chance to speak. What questions do you have? What do you want to say?
No, I was just going to say that I think you're not alone in really liking sports RPGs. I've heard people talk about their favorite Mario sports games are the ones that have RPG elements.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember which one did that first, if it was an
I think it was Mario Golf on the GBA.
Yeah.
Which I own.
Yeah.
I need to play
very
that
cool.
one. Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't play this game, so I can't really add or argue or anything, but it all sounds legit to me. I believe you.
Yeah. Well, I would love to hear your thoughts if you do get the chance to play it. Next time you borrow my Steam Deck, you're welcome to check it out. I'm really grateful that they sent us a code for this game. I think it had a lot of potential, and they lived up to a lot of that potential. There's just a lot of things that just kind of kill me, because if they had just been a little better, like just a little better, I would be singing this game's praises everywhere. I'd tell everyone to go play it. But yeah, hey, you should play Golf Story sometime as well. I think
for sure
it's a must play on the Switch for sure.
You know, it's funny because that's what my girlfriend keeps telling me. She's like, if you were just a little bit better, if you were just a tiny bit.
She's like, I like you, but there's just a couple things that are holding you back
because
from
I
being
like you so much.
A+ boyfriend
There's so
material.
much about me that bothers. So much.
Wow, that's the second life lesson we've learned today.
Wow, so
How
much.
to improve
Video
our
games.
lives.
Art reflects reality. Reality reflects art.
That's right. We should have told our mom that growing up. Maybe she would have let us play these more.
Wait, do you hear that?
What?
It's the sound of Who's the Fake Fan. I have a question for you now.
Oh, great. Fake fan. I am so excited.
Well, now that you're an expert in soccer.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I have actually a pretty simple soccer question for you. How many people are on a team?
Like including on the bench? Or like on the field?
On the field.
On the field. Well, in Soccer Story, there's only 4 and the goalie. So I'm going to say that.
No.
Okay. 6.
No.
Final answer. Okay.
No,
what is it?
Honestly, though, this does feel like a good counterpart to your alligator crocodile game question.
We talk about learning so many life lessons from video games, and here we are with like no life skills, like no knowledge of the real world. We were just.
I still couldn't tell you what the difference between an alligator and a crocodile is. Well, Jared, I will tell you there are 11 players on a soccer team.
On the field.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. Jared, what's the difference between a box-to-box midfielder and a right middle fielder / winger?
Oh, we're not done. Well,
no,
one
I'm
of them
just
has
joking.
the name winger
I'm just joking.
in his title.
I'm done. I probably even said those incorrectly. Both of us know so little about this sport.
That's okay. I'm fine taking the L on being a fake fan when it's something like this.
How about next week, same time? Let's trivia about alligators and crocodiles and soccer again. You know, maybe we'll learn something new.
Maybe if we do more alligator games, like Later Alligator.
Yeah,
or,
that's our new thing.
I think there's more than one gator game. That seems to be a thing amongst cozy games. Well done. That was a good question. I will prepare better next time, maybe.
Nah.
But yeah, this was so fun. I really liked hearing your thoughts on that, on Lil Gator Game.
Yeah.
And we'll include links where people can find those games if they interest you. But now we are going to leave. We're going to take a week off for Christmas and enjoy the holidays together. Looking forward to that, Marcus.
Mm.
And then we'll do one more episode before the end of the year where we talk about our favorite games that we played this year, just like we did last year, but for 2022. And that'll be a lot of fun. And then we've got plenty more planned ahead for next year. So I hope you're all looking forward to it. Thank you all for being our listeners. We appreciate each and every one of you.
You're a gift.
Yes. So until next time, I'm Jared.
I'm Marcus.
And we'll level with you then.
I thought about asking you questions about the World Cup, but
I'm
not going to do that.
I don't follow sports.
You know where the World Cup is, though, right?
Yes, of course. It's a big soccer tournament. It's like every 4 years.
Where is it?
Oh, this year.
You don't know where the World Cup is this year?
It's not. It's in Europe, right?
So wrong.
So wrong. China?
Nope. Split the difference. It's in between Asia and Europe. A little
There's
down.
nothing in between Asia and Europe. You talking about Africa?
A little. Nope. In between all three of those.
What are you
That's
talking
a triangle
about?
around
Israel?
The Middle East. The Middle East.
The Middle East is part of. Okay,
That's
never
fair.
mind. Never mind.
You're
No,
right.
No. It's fine. It's fine. What country though?
Qatar.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know much about
World
Qatar.
Cup is in Qatar.
Okay.
Okay. You're a gift.
Yes. Wait, was that to me or to the listeners?
Definitely to the listeners. You're okay. You're a package. You're
With,
the full package.
Hey, there we go. I'll take that. Maybe I'll cut that. I don't know.